Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abbie.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express. Welcome to episode 90 of the Disney Hour Express podcast. I am one of the hosts. My name's Rob, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
I'm Abbie.
And we're here today to go over some very important Disney topics.
Ooh, what are they?
In the form of Would You Rathers.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
I hope so. Or more importantly, I hope they think so. Otherwise, it's just listening to the two of us. Now, before we get into that, let's just talk about what happened the past week over at Disney, right? It was kind of
Oh, boy.
I mean, obviously what happened to like Florida and everything. And I had, I had family members that were down right outside of the Tampa area that were affected by Hurricane Milton. And obviously there was like a ton of other, Florida was ravaged like a 1-2 punch of Helene and then Milton.
Yes, and then in addition, Milton brought in so many tornadoes that touched ground, which I don't think, I wasn't expecting it, and I was watching the news pretty intensely, and then all of a sudden they're like, the newscasters were like, oh yeah, well with this kind of weather you can expect that, and really?
By the way, there were deadly tornadoes in the... Yeah, it was kind of like it was like a real life Twister.
Yes, exactly. So very scary. A lot of neighborhoods got completely demolished from the tornadoes, along with, of course, the neighborhoods on the other side of the state that kind of took on a lot of the water. Yeah. So it was a lot. A lot
of stuff. And then obviously there were no... like the Orlando area, there were no casualties or anything. And there were downtown Orlando never lost power, and the outskirts did. And there were other, people in the area that were dealing with damage and things like that. Disney itself had some, there was some wind damage. It looked like the Polynesian. I saw some roof.
And then just tomorrow, I think, as being the 13th, is when they're finally going to open up the wilderness resorts. Or was that today? Today is the 13th. I apologize. Okay. So those were closed for an extended amount of time. Yeah. Not due to damage necessarily, but due to location. They have a lot of outdoorsy stuff going on over there. So.
Gotcha. And that's part of the, that's one of the things that you deal with, Disney obviously closing. There was a lot of stories this week about how many times has Disney closed throughout its history. And sometimes it's just, obviously there's hurricanes in Florida. So weather sometimes, dictates that. Other times there's crazier things like pandemics and such. But yeah, there was something. Now, one of the things that you mentioned, and I meant to do a little bit more research on it, that what Disney does for the people that are kind of stuck there. Oh, yeah. We had a personal,
we had a friend that was stuck there during this.
Their family was there, and they had to extend their trip, right?
They did, because their flights did get canceled because the airport completely closed. So they got to stay, and they stayed with the I think they're called Ride Out Crew, which are cast members that are kind of taken out of Flamingo Crossing, where they generally stay, and they stay in the resorts overnight, so that resort guests have 24/7 care as far and entertainment. So we got a lot of pictures of all the entertainment that was going on there. It was like game after game after game for kids, and I don't think any anyone was feeling like they were completely missing out because there were so many activities going on. Now, there are so many things that you have to think about, like where you're staying during these storms, because, you know, if you're staying over at, let's say, Port Orleans, your rooms have a exit. You must exit them. Your door is to the outside, versus if you're staying over a Polynesian resort,
or
your
Animal Kingdom or something.
Your doors are on the inside, and so you have an interior door where you can go get your food and you can readily like walk around and stuff. So when they call for sheltering in place, which they did for about 24 hours or more, especially after the storm was over, they wanted to make sure that they picked up all the debris and stuff. If you're in those rooms that have an exterior door, you are kind of screwed. Like, how are you going to go to the lodge and whatnot? Point. I
didn't even think about that.
So you really do have to kind of consider where you're staying. And they moved a lot of people around. And
so what you're saying is during hurricane season, it pays to upgrade to a deluxe.
Up those rooms.
Up to a deluxe, because, right, that's all the value resorts and... Right. And I think everything, right, because Port Orleans is
the moderate. It's more of a moderate resort.
Those are all kind of exterior
doors.
It's really just
like
the values.
Them, really.
It's really just the
deluxe.
Deluxe. Sorry, not values. The deluxe that have the interior. They have lobbies and
it feels very different having an interior door. I can say that for sure. So something to look for when you're considering a resort, not just during hurricane season, but think about winter time. If you think that it's going to be cold or it's going to be particularly rainy during your time of year, you might want an interior door.
If you're going to Florida, it's going to be rainy. For like, it could be a half hour, it could be longer, but it's going to rain at some point. Whether or not you think it's cold, us, real Northerners don't think so, but
you never
Abbie
know.
does.
You never know.
Abbie brings a parka.
So just all things you want to consider in general when you're picking your room. What are your expectations? Do you want to open your door up to a balcony where people are walking by all the time? I don't. But that's just me. So anyways, we also had a lot of rescheduling that had to be done because they were closing the parks for certain days. Now, what's great about these cancellations is that Disney really does work with you. If you need a full refund because you just can't go any other time of year and Disney has closed the parks and they're calling you, they understand. They're like, okay, no problem. We get that. But then they also want to work with you to make sure that you get if you can go at another time, they want to make sure that you get the same value that you've paid for already. So they work on everything for you. The wait times on that phone were long, though. We had agents waiting 3 and more hours to get what their clients needed. We even had some cruises that were canceled, which is like heartbreaking because cruises are really hard in general, I think, for people to rebook because they're a little bit longer. So
they can be,
Yeah. So,
it's more about it's more about you're limited, right? Because there's not it's not every day that there's a new cruise taking off. So you're a little bit more limited in the dates and what's available.
Exactly. So a lot to consider throughout all of that. It is another valid reason why you want to get insurance on your trip. Now we are a bit of risk takers. We do not get insurance on our trips, but we've thus far been okay, except for Legoland. Definitely get insurance on Legoland.
Legoland, I tell you, they're tough. Like, we don't care if your kid has the flu. You come here or you pay.
That was crazy. But so for the most part, Disney is really amazing. But getting travel insurance just gives you that extra seal the deal. Look, we're okay.
I still think we should have brought our child and just infected everyone in Legoland, all the cast, and been like, sorry, it's your customer service that they wouldn't give us our money back.
Don't get me started. I definitely. So at my place of work, we have a system that we keep all of our client notes in. And there's like a little check mark that you can check that says Purple Dragon, which pretty much means that client is an a-hole.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, they definitely at Legoland have me as a purple dragon. And I didn't even mean it. It was just that I was asking like super appropriate questions and like they weren't being answered. And so I got really frustrated being a travel agent. Like I know that the other person on the other end should be able to accurately answer these questions for me. And that just wasn't happening. So anyways, purple dragon or not, it was a tough situation.
And we'll let you know how our makeup trip
makeup trip nearly a year later.
Yeah, to Legoland.
Yikes.
And off anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the best of it. And we'll share all our thoughts and everything else.
Maybe we'll have a whole Legoland episode. Anyways, so Rob playing the show today because I have been totally stuck in cheer season mode.
She's been cheer mom all day and all night.
Yep. It's that season. It's that time of year where we are all about the football and the cheer. So we
instead
are crazy.
of going into one of our heavier
research oriented.
Yes. Just as basically Abbie wasn't available. So we had to give it to Rob. While, mind you, I was watching, it was a play date for 3 10-year-olds.
He did
for
do that.
4 hours. And I volunteered. I kind of like suggested it and
pulled it off.
And said, give 4 hours. I fed them and everything.
And I have to say, I did swing by during it, and all the kiddos were completely thrilled and happy, and he even fed them. So it was fantastic.
He even fed them? Just not after midnight, right?
Yes, we don't want the gremlins.
You are correct. All right. So we're going to do something a little bit lighter, right? It's a Disney World or Disney Would You Rathers.
Okay.
We got a little bit of both. They're not all original ones, so you may find these on the web if you look them up yourself, but you're going to hear our answers, and we want to hear what your answers are, and maybe some are controversial. Let us know. Comment on our socials.
Okay.
All right. So starting it off, do you want to start? Or you want me to start?
You start.
Okay.
Are we starting on a particular page?
No.
Any page?
No,
Okay,
just go for it. Just go for it. So I'm going to start off with this one, and it's somewhat easy, right? We got to ease into these. Would you rather ride Soarin' Around the World or Avatar Flight of the Passage?
Gosh, that's tough because I do like both of them, but I'm going to have to say I feel maybe because it's an independent ride, I feel more immersed in Avatar Flight of Passage. So I think I'd have to say that one, but the smells on Soarin' are like my all-time
favorite. But they do have smells in Avatar.
It's just like one smell versus like
just
multiple.
One smell? You're like those smelly Navi.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's like the water or something. Like it has a very floral scent that bursts up, right?
Yeah.
Or the banshee smell, whatever that is.
I don't see a lot of shower and soap in the Navi community. So,
Well,
I'm sure it's ripe.
What about you? Would you rather Soarin' or Avatar?
Avatar. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's still Flight of the Passage still has a longer wait time. So I've ridden that less, right?
Oh.
You normally only go there and ride it once in your trip. Mm-hmm. But I've been to like times where I've gone to Epcot and I've ridden Soarin' like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
So I feel like I've done it more.
I would like to see a different Soarin'. Like I haven't seen Soarin' over California.
Yeah.
I don't know what that feels like. I've seen the same Soarin' for the last, I feel like 15 years.
Okay.
So I do love it. And I love that our children love it. But I'm also kind of like
there's a lot of Earth.
What are we doing here?
Yeah,
like, can we, I mean, I think about it. When did that show come out? The nature show? It came out in like 2009, where every planet Earth, right?
Okay.
Or maybe it was earlier than that. It could have been like 2005. Yes. And I was so immersed in that show. I think everybody was. We were like so in awe with the new details that were able to be seen, right? Through Blu-ray. And now that's like, we're so beyond that. And I'm still like, well, why haven't they pulled real quick, planet Earth
real
here?
Quick, where would you want to what would you want to see that's different? Like what?
Well,
Like
I
what
guess
would be a suggestion of?
I love that we're going over Africa and we're focusing on elephants. That's my favorite. But like, why are we not looking at more animals like giraffes and like lionesses and like just certain things in there,
So
like hyenas? Like, why are we
over
not going to
Africa?
Costa Rica maybe and seeing like real rainforest and hearing those sounds or
Well, is there anything to see? Rainforests are usually dense, right?
why are we not seeing the Aurora Borealis or whatever over in, where is that? Like, is it like Iceland? I have no idea. Like, where is this stuff? But like, you know, I want to see a little bit of Ireland. I want to. There's so many
The
things I want
rolling
to
hills.
see.
You want to go to a pub and see a guy drinking Guinness?
Or just see it be on a cliff over there. Watch the water lapping up and like, you know, just smell that. What does that smell like? And so yes, I think
okay,
we
you think
could get
there's
more.
opportunity for
There's so much opportunity there. But then again, there are diehard Soren people that would not agree with me. They like it the same way.
I feel
they need it to be the same way.
Change gives me anxiety. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
You're up.
I'm up. All right.
Not Europe, the continent. We've seen enough of that in Soren. Or maybe not enough.
So this one made me laugh.
Oh.
Would you rather meet a face character or a fur character?
Yeah, I did see that one as well. And I was like, can I choose? Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't.
There isn't either option, but I don't think there should be.
Like,
you're not a character person.
No, I would never wait in line to like wait in any. I wouldn't wait like 20 minutes, even like Chewbacca. Like I wouldn't wait to see a Star Wars character. Like it's just not. Like I know it's not the
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, kids, close your ears. It's not the real characters. It's not the ones from the movie. But I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. I wouldn't.
Neither.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what you're choosing.
Sure.
Lame, Rob, lame.
Well,
you really need to like narrow it down. Listen, when we met Faith's character, Ray, right? She was phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal with the kids. She like commented on their hair and like how she liked their outfits and was worried that she wasn't pulling off her outfit. What? Are you kidding me? That's so cool. And then when we met Alice and like how in depth and awesome her conversation was and how gentle and sweet she was. Now I have to say the princesses, I have been not at all impressed as of late. This last trip, I really wasn't impressed. And I'm sorry to say that. Like, because they are the bread and butter, right? Everybody wants to go see the princesses. But I think it's also because we didn't have much to say to them. As for like when we met Alice or Ray, like we were wearing their attire and really into them. As for when we met like Aurora or Jasmine, we didn't have anything to say.
What about like Asha though?
When we met Asha, there was a lot to say, but she was a very like bland facial expressions. But she was wonderful. Stop.
Disney princess, the gauntlet has been thrown down.
No,
Abbie is like
saying.
It's on
you. With a fur character, I'm assuming they mean people like Daisy or whatever. So when we met Daisy, how cute her communication was, right?
Yeah.
She saw that our daughter was wearing all Alice gear and she made a little tea party motion kind of commenting on that. And she had to really pay attention to be able to communicate without verbally communicating. She had to come up with signs and actions and things. So that was really cool. But I think on a regular day, I would definitely want a face character over a fur character. Just saying.
So I'll say this and I'll get a little more in depth. So you say face.
Yes.
Okay. I don't like, so as a male and knowing just of stuff that has happened previously, I get uncomfortable. I don't want to interact with any of the female characters.
So I get that
because it's just like I know what people have done, so that's always in the back of my mind. So I'm like, I'm stepping back and letting the kids do all the interacting.
Yeah,
I don't need to. And then the people in the costumes, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know their facial expressions. I don't know if they're like sticking their tongue out at me. Right. They could be like a weirdo. Like I just don't know what's happening. So I don't trust any of them.
And I can't tell you how many agents we have that have been fur characters because of their height, right? All the fur, think about it. They're a little bit on the shorter side.
Except for
so
Goofy.
It's so interesting to think about, like Mickey could really be played by a female, or and that kind of thing. It's very you have no idea who is under there. So. But yes, I totally understand your point about face characters, because remember, like 2 years ago or something, I still remember it very much in my mind. I put my arm for a picture.
Oh yeah.
I put my hand on the back of a princess, just as I would with any of my friends. And she kind of like shuddered away, and I was like, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be touching. Like, I didn't even think about it though. And so I get that they're touched all day long. Like, ew, not cool. But so yeah, I get that. But being a man, that could really go to a different direction.
So anyway, there's the Disney magic for you. And all right, you know what? I'll give you this one. Staying on that same page, we're looking at some questions on BuzzFeed of all places. Would you rather eat at Cinderella's royal table or Be Our Guest restaurants?
Oh, okay. We did just have the most fabulous meal at Be Our Guest restaurant. It was really nice.
And it was your birthday.
It was my birthday. But I want to eat
Go
there.
Abbie,
Cinderella's.
It's your birthday. Go
I think
Abbie,
at this point in my
birthday.
life, I feel like I need to retry Cinderella's again.
Okay.
Based on the fact that the first time I ate there was during COVID, and so they did not have the princesses in the room. And I do feel like even the meal was limited, right? Like there was like a prefix menu. Maybe they always have the prefix menu. No, they do. That's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like it might be a different experience altogether. Plus now
it's prefix in that
meats,
but you have options. Like you have to choose an appetizer.
I would really, I'd want to do like a breakfast though. I would choose more of a breakfast meal there. I love breakfast. I feel like you can't go wrong
breakfast
there.
all day, baby.
Like I really loved our 1900 Park Fair breakfast. The buffet style was phenomenal, right?
I love a buffet.
You got everything you wanted. So anyways, I think this point in time, I'd say Cinderella's just because we've done Be Our Guest. I really loved it. Everything about it.
Be Our Guest in regular time versus with Cinderella's royal table. We did only during with restrictions. There were limitations.
What about you, hon? Would you rather eat at Cinderella's royal table or Be Our Guest restaurant?
I would rather go somewhere else.
Gosh, you're boring today.
Am I boring?
Yes. Come on, get into it.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would. You know, the Beast bummed me out so much. I don't know.
I know. You couldn't interact with him at all.
I mean, it's just like, everyone sit down. The Beast is coming. Like you can't get any good pictures of him because like everyone's in your way. Like,
and they're like, don't come out from your table. Yeah. It's like really big deal.
I mean, I like the guy that like introduced, he's like that seated us and all that stuff. Yeah. And that's interesting. And the theming of it, I probably like the theme of like all the extra stuff in the front while you're waiting for Be Our Guest, but we also didn't explore, so I didn't get to see, I don't know. Yeah. I probably like that more though. I probably like Be Our Guest.
Okay. All right. Would you rather visit Walt Disney World at Halloween or Christmas?
Well, being that as we all know, I was left behind for Mickey's Not So Scary visits by my lovely co-host. But anyway,
I'm so sorry. I just happened to be in the area. That's all.
I was left behind with four children. 4
children? Did we multiply?
4 pets and 2 kids. And somebody's living it up, not trick or treating, and just sending me pictures like, oh look, the Headless Horseman.
Brutal, baby, brutal.
So, and I mean, I also haven't attended any like the Christmas parties there, but I've been there during the decorations were set up. I think I kind of like Christmas more.
Yeah. So
I like the parks in Christmas. I've been there while the parks were decorated.
Christmas.
I like the Christmas more. It just seemed more magical. Like everything, like the Tree of Life was like crazy. Special, and they just having all the giant Christmas trees and
So I agree with you. Okay. I agree with you 100%. Right. I loved going at Halloween. It was great. But there's something about Christmas and like the smells that they pump in. Again, I'm very like smell oriented. Oh. Like it makes the magic. It makes you believe again, which is what this is all about, right? Okay. You want to believe in something bigger than yourself. And that's what Christmas is for me. I love that. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I love it.
Christmas is about like smells. All right. Which mountain would you rather conquer? Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
Both are really rickety to me. All right. So we have not gone on Big Thunder Mountain a ton. Like we just went back to it this year because the kids felt ready for it. Mm-hmm. I loved standing in that queue. It was so fun because there was like different things to do in there and different like places to see. You're like climbing up, whereas in Space Mountain you're like inside and it's kind of like all the bleep bleep bloop computers and you're like looking at all that stuff. So it is cool. It's like completely opposite scenery. But I would still have to say, even though I really enjoyed Big Thunder Mountain like so much, I would have to say Space Mountain with the regular Space Mountain, not the Halloween lights off, because that was so freaking scary. I don't want to do that again. Okay. But I do enjoy Space Mountain. I love outer space. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I used to like want to be an astronaut. And then somebody told me that you had to be a good mathematician to be an astronaut. And I was like, well, there goes that dream. But like, there's something so cool about it. So Space Mountain it is.
I say for 2025, we start a campaign, try to get Abbie in space.
For millions of dollars.
What do you think?
It's a possibility.
I mean, we could talk SpaceX, right? They probably send up guests, no problem. I mean, I know, what's his name? Richard Branson was trying to send people into space and book private flights and stuff like that. And
all those things, man. What about you?
One day.
Which mountain? I'm surprised they didn't say what Mount Everest or whatever it was.
Expedition Everest?
Expedition Everest,
true.
too.
That should have been like a third.
Because I love that one. That would have won over Space Mountain.
Yeah,
but anyways.
I think that's a good ride.
What about you?
I had a really good time at Big Thunder Mountain. I liked the ride. The ride itself was like thrilling, you know? It was this past time. Yes, it's older and a little rickety. And
you're squishing your mate in the seat, whether you want
like
to be or not.
There's like times like I thought like my head was going to get taken off. I appreciate that. Look, I'm from the Northeast. Where Rye Playland is something that I've been to. And Rye Playland is known, or it's just called Playland. It's in Rye, New York. Playland is known for its premier roller coaster is the Dragon Coaster. And there's a story about there was a guy who rode on the Dragon Coaster. And part of what it is that you go through the backside of a dragon, right? You basically go through his butt, and then you come out through the dragon's mouth, and there's the dragon's mouth has two big teeth hanging down, and there's a story that somebody, right? It's urban legend. Somebody stood up.
Oh, yeah.
And was beheaded.
Yeah.
And so I always think about that as I'm going through any roller coaster, that if I don't duck down, that I could be beheaded at any time.
Okay, but did you ever hear about the Matterhorn, Disneyland's Matterhorn beheading? All right, let me just bring it up real quick.
So that was true, we think?
So I don't know. I mean, like, there's so many articles about it that something must have happened.
Okay.
So the first death that they account for was in May 1964. 5 years after the Matterhorn opened. Let's see. It says there, I don't know. It was blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wow.
It was approaching midnight when a 15-year-old Mark Maples of Long Beach got in line at the Matterhorn with two teenage classmates. Maples was savoring freedom. His parents had just released him from a weeks-long grounding.
Right.
This is so funny.
Okay.
But in any case, he said that his head was struck
somewhere
the side of the concrete mountain. Gosh. Okay.
His head skimmed against it. And
something like. But somebody died. It said the teen was killed. So, anyways, of course, who knows what you can really believe, because this is like, Disney is really wonderful at
cover-ups.
Yes, but they also train their employees to never pronounce anyone dead on Disney property. Mm-hmm. And so Reedy Creek takes care of all of that.
They take them out through the secret tunnels, and then they get them outside the gates, and they're like, this person has been dead. This person's dead.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because you can pronounce death later, right? It happens all the time. Anyway, okay, so I mean, you can Google that stuff and enjoy a nice scary evening.
There's so many ghosts that haunt Disney World.
I mean, that's true. It's true. That is not a lie. All right, you ready?
Yeah,
I got one more for you.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to keep going. Well, so, who would you rather be friends with, Sven or Olaf?
Olaf.
They were like, no. Oh my gosh, wouldn't you get annoyed by Olaf after like the first 5 minutes?
I mean,
but why? But why? Yeah. But why?
Well, I mean, is it any different than our kids? I mean...
Oh, yes. I think that Sven's really adorable. I mean, he probably smells so horribly. Which is not different than our dogs, I guess. So
or our kids.
Oh my God. No, don't. You are on fire today.
They'll never hear this. They'll never hear it. They'll never hear it.
So is there any news happenings around the park?
There is. I don't know why you're trying to cut me off already.
Oh, so sorry. Were you going to ask me a question? Did you have a good one?
Well, I don't know if it's a good one or not, but it's something. Which Mickey shaped snack would you rather have?
Ice cream.
Yeah, see.
I don't even need you to read them to me.
Like, you'd rather have the ice cream?
But I know yours would be the pretzel.
I love a Mickey pretzel.
Yes, the little ice cream with chocolate covered. I mean, it's my fave. I can't believe you didn't know that about me. But we always go in the summertime when it's like melts off, so I don't get it. But I did get it over Halloween time. It was my fave.
Oh, when you weren't with me, so it doesn't count.
Oh, well, I'm going to be real. Count. Nicole bought it for me without me knowing. So I was like, yay. Our travel specialist, Nicole, she knows where my heart is at.
So this was one I wanted to ask you, and I know I just asked one, but I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Would you rather travel down the bayou with Tiana or in the gang, or travel the seas with Moana and Maui?
Bayou. Thanks. Done.
Her ability to swim, she doesn't want to go in the ocean.
How about you?
No, this is all about you. We're not answering this.
Come on. Would you go down the bayou with Tiana or go in the oceans with Moana? But let's be fair. We haven't really seen an ocean ride. Is it just going through the waterway? The special thing over at Epcot?
Well, I mean, is it a ride?
Journey of Water?
Or?
I mean,
I think they're just saying they're saying the movie itself or the movie or the story. Got it.
The movie itself. I mean, I can sail, so
yes,
and I don't want to get eaten by an alligator, so that's actually a tough one.
A gator?
Now that I really think about it.
But you were born in New Orleans.
I was, but I don't know. I'll still go with Tiana.
Fair enough. All right. And that was our Would You Rathers.
We want to hear your answers.
Yeah, we want to hear them all. And if you have any if there's any questions you would like to ask us, if you have any good Would You Rathers, please let us know and we'll answer them either in chats or on the next episode. There was news. Thank you for asking. I'm going back to just a couple of minutes ago. Some of it's park related, some of it's not. This one isn't. The live action movies that Disney's releasing just got announced for their release dates.
Ooh,
Right?
I'm ready.
So
what are
this
we
is-
seeing over Thanksgiving break?
Well, Thanksgiving break, that's going to be Moana 2.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
That's the animated Moana 2.
Yes.
Live action Moana is still filming, so it hasn't been out there, but
Got it.
excuse me. Lilo and Stitch is coming out May 23rd.
Really? The
2025.
live action?
Live action Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. It has a newcomer Maya Kealoha. I'm probably mispronouncing that. She's going to be Lilo, and then obviously it's a CGI Stitch.
Oh.
But I mean, we might as well buy tickets now because
I know. Is this her? She's adorable.
oh boy. So look her up, guys. She's apparently adorable.
She is adorable.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
What about Stitch? She's pretty cute.
I
too.
mean, Stitch is always like kind of questionable in my mind. We have so many Stitch characters
oh
here.
boy.
But like, I mean, look at this depiction here of Stitch. He looks like a gremlin.
Well, oh yeah. That's true.
Like a blue gremlin. Or what's that like alien thing in Ghostbusters? That's what he looks like. Zool.
Oh boy.
I've had a long day, folks.
When you mix a Cosmo and Dr. Pepper, this is what you get. So a couple months later, in August 8th, we have Freaky Friday 2.
Which is so weird because aren't the original actresses coming back for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's Jamie Lee and Lindsay Lohan.
So is Lindsay Lohan going to have a daughter during this?
I mean,
or are they Freaky Fridaying it again?
It doesn't seem like it. Because it's like a lot of the original cast is joining. So it seems, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Because it also has like Chad Michael Murray, who was her like her boyfriend or whatever.
That's right. He's coming back.
He's going to be back in it. And, but it could be something like she sees him again. Who knows what is going to happen.
I don't know. Yeah. Props to Lindsay Lohan, though. She's like coming back at it.
Yeah, I mean, she's
after
like,
so many years of
she's
people
like doing
like
all these like low budget like B movie, not like B movies, but like Hallmark and.
But she also lives abroad now, though, doesn't she? So she's coming back to make these films. It's so interesting.
Oh, Lohan. But yeah, so those are two releases coming out next year. So that's fun. That's stuff to look forward to. Family feature. That's the thing, right? It's always. Even though there's obviously kids movies, Inside Out, and other things, like you just want more. We like bringing the kids to the movies,
love bringing
but it seems like there's still like these gaps where it's just like not family friendly movies out there. Even though those seem to always tend to do the best, and everyone's saying like the movie theaters themselves are dying, right? Because they're not attendance is down, and no one's going to the movie theaters anymore.
Well, it's also like, I mean, when do we leave the movies now without spending $100 when we bring the whole family? I think that's really the real problem.
It is crazy.
You can't have a $100 family outing every weekend. That's just not feasible.
That's true.
Especially when you're saving up for Disney. Just saying.
Family travel planner. I don't know. It seemed like we needed a plug. Speaking of movies leaving, 4 Indiana Jones movies just removed from Disney Plus. Right now, the only Indiana Jones movie you could watch on Disney Plus is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is the latest one.
What?
So Paramount is the company, the production company that put out the other films. So Paramount actually has the rights for the films. They allowed Disney they gave them the rights to hype up Dial of Destiny. I'm sure they paid them an exorbitant amount of money, but the deal was done on October 1st, so they're gone.
Oh no.
So you have to go over to Paramount Plus, which we no longer have. I was like, the other day Heidi was like, I want to watch something on Paramount Plus. Like, just nothing that we're watching on it. So
I feel like we have so many streaming services.
I know.
This is like a thing now. People are like, how many streaming services do we freaking need to like equate to what we had on cable television? It's really tough. It's really tough.
No, it's true. That's why I got to go illegal. Get Cody. Oh, who said that?
What?
Who said that? Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of a bummer. It's like, but it's just on Paramount Plus, and they're all there, and you should own most of them. I do anyway.
We have a DVD collection of all of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now going back to the parks and going all the way across the country, we're talking about Disneyland. Magic Key preview dates revealed for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland.
Woo-hoo.
So those are starting. Magic Key holders can get starting October 21st. Right, they're open up from like 3 to 9. There's all sort of virtual queues that you can enter. It's like once you enter the park, and there are lots of things going on. Obviously, confer with your travel agent if you have one about what you're able to do. They'll direct you and guide you in the right place. But that means that it's coming along. On top of that, November 15th is the official grand opening of Tiana's Bayou in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, those Magic Key holders, you can't book your day. They're not allowing anybody. You're not allowed to book on that day. So they're like, we need all tickets, all ticket money. But yeah, that's exciting for them, right? It's a phenomenal ride. We love the ride.
Yes.
Here in Disney World.
Can't believe it really took this long for Disneyland.
I'm guessing it's going to be, I haven't heard there's going to be any differences.
Okay.
But maybe we'll have to wait and see when those previews start happening.
Yeah.
But it's in a couple weeks. So just around the corner, going back to the movie side, where I guess actually Disney Plus series that Ewan McGregor said that he's on board if they wanted to do another Obi-Wan season 2.
Really?
Yeah, which is strange because like it kind of Obi-Wan season 1 kind of tied everything up, right? It kind of put a bow on it and kind of set the future, right? There was all the stuff, spoilers coming up with Leia and, set up Obi-Wan and how they knew each other and going forward. And I put Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it kind of had another interaction with them. So you kind of understand what was ahead, what's going to happen for now, in A New Hope. Does there really needed any more? I don't know. But Ewan McGregor said he's on board. It could just be like a one-off, somebody asked him on a red carpet.
Yeah, and so it doesn't really mean anything.
Why not? Yeah.
Gotcha. That's probably more likely.
But anyway, so that's there. There was another story. Oh, so again, we're talking movies here. Movies. This one is about the upcoming Snow White.
Oh boy, there's been so much about this.
So much about it. And part of the... All right. So what the controversy is obviously Snow White, traditionally in this animated form that we all know her. Yeah. And in the parks is...
a very
her name
snowy
is Snow White
woman.
Complexion. They cast Rachel Zegler, or it might be Ziegler, who starred in West Side Story.
Gorgeous woman.
They cast her, she's supposed to be playing a Puerto Rican. She's actually of Colombian descent. Cast her as Snow White. Does not have white skin.
But you know what, though? Look at this picture of her. Just like a regular BuzzFeed picture.
Gotcha.
She's not, okay, but like she's not me pale complexion. Like I'm Welsh, right? But I am pale.
But even in the movie, though,
she's still not looking a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not. So what they said was that they changed the origin story for how she got her name.
Oh.
It fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby. And so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. Oh. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are.
Okay, I like that twist.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
So,
and then you have to just remember how these princesses get their name. Like Cinderella. How did Cinderella get her name?
Because she used to clean out the fireplace all the time.
So she was always covered in cinder ashes. So I could see where they kind of like got this story for sure.
Right. Okay. So on the other hand, it's like people also just relax, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy
we live
the movie.
in a beautiful world
Yeah.
now where things are very different than they were when this stuff first originated.
For the
So
people
we got to
that like
embrace it.
start taking a stand, it's like, not my Snow White, right? Not the cartoon that I saw.
But remember how hot-headed we felt about the live action Little Mermaid? That was like a very big conversation. Well, like, she's not going to have the red hair, right? But how they did it was like, she did end up having like more golden red hair in parts of the movie. And I feel like she blew us away. She blew us out of the water with her vocals and with her acting, that like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I was not like, well, this is how it should be, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was a beautiful story. So we gotta just let it go.
It's like, look, Disney obviously is stuck in this mode of remaking live action remakes of their animated classics.
Yep.
And so there always going to be some sort of, I don't know.
There's going to be
some controversy, but why they're casting certain people in certain roles, it's because they're talented, right? That's the important thing.
Yeah.
We got to look past it. I'm saying everybody's going to be okay. We're all going to make it and go to work the next day. Just enjoy the story.
Yeah. True.
There were certain things. I know the Pop Century food courts reopened. I'm sure maybe we'll hear about that in the Magical Minute. I don't know. They were following that story for a little bit. I mean,
are you dissing our Magical Minute right
I'm not saying anything.
Excuse-moi.
So I feel like I had another story in here, but maybe I lost it. The last thing was Universal, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Disney World has gone through a lot of stuff with their, and I can't think of the term for it now, but for their handicapped is not the right word to use.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about disability access passes?
Yes. Yeah, the DAS pass. Sorry. Thank you.
So just the disabilities, yeah.
But Universal, kind of, obviously it's a park and they have like similar, like everyone's similar situations. So they were using a third party organization that they were requiring people to get these cards from this company, which the acronym is the IBCCES. Accessibility card no longer required for accommodations at Universal Orlando Resort.
Interesting.
So they're not requiring you to do it to go through this third party company. What you can do is you can go to guest services in Universal and you could talk to them, pretty much like pleading your case why you think you need this pass.
Which is how Disney was originally, right? You had a face-to-face with a cast member about why you needed it.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't any hesitation towards that.
And so, it says, so guest services, you speak with a team member about your situation and request an attractions assistance pass. And if the guest receives the pass, they will have their queue accommodation for 1 year before having to renew the pass, which also is better than Disney, because Disney was like 2 months. Like it gave you like,
Disney wasn't it like 30 days or something like that?
Or something. 30,
because
30,
we went
days.
At the end of June, and by the mid-July, 60, August, I had to like re-up it.
Something like that. So that just seems like a big win, right? It's like another thing.
That is a big win. And I think they are hoping to get all those transfer guests. Like, there are really well-known podcasts that ended up changing the names of their podcast from anything having to do with Disney because they were so upset that they no longer qualified, which rightfully so. Like, there are so many individuals that are being dismissed through this new system. So I think Universal is doing right by the guests that have been dismissed by Disney, and I think they're hoping for that increase.
I'm still heated with our situation, so
absolutely. Well, and then think about it more. Men and women who have gone to fight for our country and have returned with significant, serious PTSD are no longer getting approved at
Disney. Crazy.
Wow!
Like, come on, Disney.
So Thank you, Universal. Thank you for hearing us.
And that's where you hear all these, you get all these things, and you're like, we were talking about Hurricane Milton.
Mm-hmm.
They said that because of hurricanes, Disney has lost like $500 million.
Yeah.
Being closed and all these other things, so on and so forth. Don't try to make up the bottom line. Don't try to make those earnings back on this way.
Yeah.
Right. By making people, just buy a fast pass if you're so concerned about it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's enough. You get into the parks, you're going to make your money back because we're all going to be buying, half our family's going to buy Mickey ice creams and the other half's going to buy Mickey pretzels.
I know.
We're never going to combine.
Ooh,
I just had a good idea. Mickey ice cream pretzel. No, that doesn't work. I don't like it.
Thank you.
I don't know. We'll talk to Bailey. She likes dipping strange things and other things, so maybe she will like that.
Our taste tester.
But anyway, that's pretty much all the news I had around the parks.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Now I got a question. Well, one more. Would you rather host a Disney podcast with me or with Lando, who's sleeping in the room?
Absolutely with you, because I love it when you're awake and talking.
But I also sleep on the couch just like Lando does.
That's right, you do. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed our episode. We enjoyed being here with you, and we'll catch you next week.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.